Here's the difference of flaw and weaken on the LSAT and how you should tackle them differently. So flaw are already things that are wrong with the argument, but weaken is pulling outside information into the argument to make it less valid. So let's take a look at just a general example, break it down in terms of the two of them. So let's say you said, I wore my lucky socks today and I got an A on my test. Therefore, that proves my socks are lucky. Now, notice the flaw there. The problem that already exists is that correlation versus causation. Just because this happened at the same time, it doesn't mean that the lucky socks cause you to get an A. So that is the flaw. That's the problem in that argument. Now, a weakened question will be pulling in outside information, and those answer choices will be that outside information. So these are a little bit trickier almost because it seems like the answer choices are totally irrelevant to the prompt, but because it isn't mentioned in the prompt. So something for this example would be like, I wore my lucky socks last week and I got an F on my test or a C on my test or something, right? Now, notice that shows that these lucky socks maybe are not as lucky as you think. So it's weakening that argument that these socks are lucky. So notice again, that's pulling in extra information to prove that your conclusion is not valid, it's not true, but the flaw already shows something that is wrong with the argument, in that case, the correlation versus causation. So I want you to think about those two things a little bit different, tackle them a little bit different on the exam as well.